Hello, this is JB. I live in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about why I got into scenery painting. I'm going to show you some paintings that I've done recently and tell you the stories behind them. So, when I was a kid many years ago, like let's say 30 years ago, I spent a lot of time with my paternal grandfather. And his father had been a sign painter back when that was a thing. So he would paint the names of companies or whatever on the side of building in exchange for money. That was his job, or his job, his main job later on in life. And he was very skilled and very talented, but his painting was for his business. It wasn't like his hobby. It wasn't something that he did to get joy or to relax or anything like that. But at some point, um, my grandfather he started painting, and the story is that he used to watch a lot of Bob Ross, like on PBS, um, to learn how to do scenery painting. And he liked the outdoors anyhow. He liked the deserts out west. He was on in the Coast Guard, so he was in the Pacific Northwest, and he loved the North Carolina mountains. We both did. We spent a lot of time up there together. But he liked the idea of being outside in nature because uh, it normally is peaceful and calm. It can be otherwise, as we all know, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, that sort of thing. But it's a place where you can go and find peace and find uh, the right conditions to relax. And so he painted. He did acrylic painting and I think some oil painting. But when I was a kid, I would always see different paintings that he had in his house, and he wasn't like a fine artist, uh, but he was good. Like if you saw it, one of his paintings hanging up in a hotel room, you wouldn't say, "What in the hell is that doing here?" You would say, "That's nice." So he was pretty good, and he after he died in 2002, I was over at my grandma's house cutting the grass because he wasn't there to do it, and I went into the back shed and I found a whole bunch of his paintings, and I told my grandmother about it, and she said, "Well, bring them up here." And when I did, she let me pick one, and I took one, and one of my cousins has it. I gave it away, but when I was younger, since I was at his house a lot at night, sometimes we would he would have me sit down at the table and I would draw. Often I drew like mountains and those sorts of things, and he thought it was a waste of money to have me paint because I didn't have painting skills at that point. So he didn't want to buy a canvas, which was at that time maybe like $7. Now they're actually cheaper than that, but they were like $7, which is a lot of money 30 years ago. And so he didn't want to spend the money to have me like just make a mess. And but he gave me a piece of paper and some like watercolors, and I would paint some, and I enjoyed doing that. And then when I got older, moved out on my own, sometimes on the weekends, I would paint. I would just go to the paint store, buy different colors of paint, and then experiment and try to paint scenes. So mostly mountains and bays and oceans and such. And I enjoyed it. And I didn't never get very good, but I enjoyed it and I did okay. And so I just kept doing it on and off. I haven't. I mean, I've done it over the years the whole time, but I haven't done it like every week for the whole time. Just from time to time, as sometimes I get really into it, and then I fade away a little bit, and then I get back into it. But over the last couple of years, I've gone to a place in Green Bay called uh, it's one of those paint and sip places called Palette and Pub, and I go there because I like to be around other people. It's hard when you're single. You need because I'm at home a lot of times and I don't have anybody to talk to. Don't have anybody to converse with. But I like to just go there and be with other people, even if I'm not talking to them. I'm not becoming their friend. I just like to be around them, and I like having an instructor who knows what she's doing to walk me through it and help me make something that's pretty decent. And so I'm going to show you some paintings. So this one, I did this one a couple months ago. So you can see there's some like a bluff, and then there's two waterfalls, and some trees in the background, and the moon rising. And when we were painting this one, I asked the instructor, who's awesome. Her name's Rebecca. I asked her, "Do you know what not to do with waterfalls?" And she started thinking of like which technique not to use when you're painting waterfalls. And I said, "Don't go chasing," because there's that famous song from TLC in the 1990s where they say, "Don't go chasing waterfalls." And everybody got a good laugh out of that one. I like this one. This one was actually pretty hard to paint because we used some different techniques that I've never used before. But there's some mountains, got the trees, and then like we have in the northern part of the United States. I live in Wisconsin. There's the what do you call this? The Northern Lights. I like the different colors of blue and white, and it just looks like a beautiful evening. So that was a really good one to paint, and I enjoyed that one. Here's a good one. I think this is probably one of my best ones. Maybe you can do better, but this is as best as I do. And this is a beach scene. It looks like either a bay or an ocean. Got like a palm trees over here, and a pier. The pier was supposed to be longer, but I thought it was too complicated, so I just cut my pier short and made it smaller. But in my mind, this is someplace in Honduras or Nicaragua because I've been to both of those places and I've seen similar scenes. But it could be any place. But I just thought it was nice. And when we were painting this one, there was a instructor, and he very smart guy, very talented artist. He said he painted something like 20,000 paintings, which seems like a bit. Uh, but when we were painting the ocean, I asked him, "Do you know which painting stroke we're using?" No, actually, I first asked him, "Did you go to art school?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Was it a good one?" He said, "Yes, it was." And then I said, "Okay, do you know which painting stroke we're using right now?" He thought about it and he said, "No, I don't." And I said, "The motion of the ocean." And everybody got a good laugh out of that one. Let's see what we got next. Oh, wow. I kind of like this one. Uh, this was, I guess it's supposed to be uh, like a little cabin or a shed or maybe a fishing shack. Not exactly sure what. But there's an evening scene, and the yellow is like the light from inside the shed or the cabin, um, uh, laying out on the pathway. And we were all kind of joking. We said it looks like there's a fire in the cabin, but this is a very peaceful, solitary scene, which I like because, like my grandfather, that's what nature gives me. It gives me peace and it gives me solitude. Here's another one. This one is just a path up to a bluff, And there's a, I think we decided that was the sun. It could be a moon in the background. It's the sun. And I like just how all the different blues kind of blend in there. And you can see the trees. It's good depth. And my favorite kind of trees to paint are the fir trees, like a Christmas tree or a pine tree, rather than deciduous trees or trees with leaves. Those are harder for me for whatever reason. Plus, the fir trees remind me more of being in mountainous areas. This one, uh, this is kind of what I was explaining. The deciduous trees are harder, and these don't look very good. But I did my best, and I'm okay with it. Uh, and so there's like some sort of waterway here, some small hills or mountains in the background. You got the moon rising or setting, a lot of reflection, and that's that. This one is this one was supposed to be a little different, but I just kind of did my own thing. It was supposed to have some birds flying off the um, water, and I just made a line of trees and had the reflection in the water. But I did my own thing because I'm not real big into painting people or birds or anything else. I just like the trees and the mountains and the water, and that's about it. That's about the extent of what I do. Okay, this one is another winter scene, I guess in the Midwest somewhere. Nice flat ground. Got some trees in the front, a little fence, so an entryway into the open area there. Some trees in the background. It's just a nice quiet scene. This one is another one of those aurora borealis or northern light scenes. This one has a lot of pinks, a lot of purples, blues, greens, a very colorful one, and it's very emblematic of what you'll see if you go to someplace up north in Wisconsin or Montana or North Dakota, Canada, or up there in Alaska. You'll see something like this. Very beautiful. And this one, I've gotten a few compliments about this one. I didn't use a whole lot of talent to paint it, but it's very colorful. There's a lot of reflection. There's a mixture of the sun and the clouds and the sky and the water to make a lot of different colors in there. And I've actually painted this one, I believe, in July or August of last year, right before I had brain surgery. And the day before I had the health incident that caused the brain surgery, I I said, "Is it too late for me to become the Michael Jordan of painting?" And a lot of people got a joke about that, or got a laugh about that. But I'm 40, and so normally when you become really good at something, you have to start early. And I started early, but I didn't really um, get into it and just really focus on it. But then later that night is when I had the health incident, and then I had the brain surgery. But obviously, everything worked out, and I've still got all of my physical and cognitive abilities, and so I can still paint and do all the other things that I was doing. The last one I had to show you is an absolute masterpiece, but I didn't paint it. This is me. It comes from a picture that I did for a political candidate where I was posing like a factory worker because I was a factory worker, but um, we just went to an old factory and there was a jack, and I was kind of posing with it, And I was a Green Bay Packer. I worked in a packing plant in Green Bay, and so I wore that shirt and that fit the scene because he was running on a platform of helping working people. But uh, I just thought this was funny because um, not that many people get paintings done of themselves, but I like the picture, and so I got it done, and it's really good. It was I think $200 or $250 some years ago, but anyhow, okay. So that's my story about how I got into painting, and that I showed you some of my paintings, and I explained why I paint. I would encourage anyone, even if you've never painted before, to paint. Here's the reason why. Uh, Times are tough for just about everybody. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of stress. But when you paint, you kind of separate yourself from that because you become um, focused on your painting and making it the world that you want it to be. Uh, and I showed you the world that I like. But some you think of some place or some setting that you like. It could be the family home. It could be you know the mountains or the beach or whatever forest. But you just go there and you paint that. You don't have to physically go there, but you go there in your mind and you paint that. And as you're doing it, it helps you relax and it helps you feel better. And you just completely forget about all the other stuff that's going on. And then when you're done and the paint dries, you pick it up, take a look at it, and hopefully you say, wow, that's pretty good. I like that. I can hang that up on the wall. And so all I have left to say is thank you to the people at Paladin Pub who have helped me uh, find my love of painting again and have helped me create some things that I'm proud of and that and also allow me the opportunity to have experiences that I enjoy. So that's that. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye.